So everyone says they want to scale, but do you really know what that means? I'll tell you, a buddy of mine runs a $2 million business, and it's a really great company, and he does really well. I don't know exactly how much he makes, but I'd guess he personally is bringing home at least $1 million before taxes. And he came to me the other day asking for advice on the best way to scale to 10 million and prep the company for a possible exit. And I told him, I was like, yep, I'm happy to share what I know, but first, I need you to be absolutely certain that you really do want to scale. And he was a bit surprised by my response. He's like, of course I want to scale. I mean, who wouldn't? But he was even more surprised when we got into the down and dirty of what scaling a business truly means to you, to your team, and to the people that you love the most. And I told him, be careful what you wish for, because scale isn't all rainbows, unicorns, and fairy dust. So what I want to do in this video is really simple. I want to tell you what I told him. And I want you to decide at the end if you want to scale. If you don't know who I am, my name is Deiss. My partners and I manage 17 companies, and scaling businesses is quite literally what we do. In fact, my company is called The Scalable Company. So it's more than a little odd that I'm here telling you not to scale. But stick with me, because I'm gonna give you 5 harsh truths that no one else will tell you if you want to scale your business from 7 figures to 8 figures in revenue. And be sure to stick around until the end, because I saved the harshest truth of all for last. All right, let's get into it. Harsh truth number 1, the people that got you to 1 million might get you to 3 million, but they probably won't get you to 10 million, and they definitely won't get you to 30 million. It's not what got you here won't get you there, that's true. The reality is it's who got you here won't get you there. And so the team that you have today, the team that you love, that was loyal, that generated that initial surge, that got you to that early stages of scale, you love them and they love you. But the sad fact is that to get to the next level, you're probably going to need to let them go at some point, or you're going to need to top them with more experienced talent, at which point they're probably gonna quit. Or you're probably gonna fire them. Either way, they're almost certainly gonna resent you. I will never forget the time I had to fire one of my best friends. I mean, this guy was in my wedding. He was there when I started my business. We were literally roommates in college, but the business eventually outgrew him, and he refused to admit it. He wouldn't accept a demotion. He was not okay when I let him know that we were gonna have to bring somebody in and he was gonna have to report to this person. And the only option that I really had was to let him go completely. And I wish I could tell you that the relationship recovered, but it didn't. Harsh truth number 2, you'll miss important family events. You won't want to, and you'll try not to, but stuff will come up and you'll just be the only person who can deal with it. What I will tell you is just to make sure that these times are the exception and not the rule. The big mistake that I made was, as the company was scaling, I basically kind of made it my identity that I was the person who would pull the all-nighter. I was the person who would go back up to the office at midnight. If anything went wrong, I was gonna swoop in. And in the beginning, I would act like, oh, I hate doing this, but I kind of wore it as like my red badge of courage. I wore it as this thing that I was willing to do, for the business, and I would complain about it, but if I was being honest, I kind of liked it. Harsh truth number 3, you'll actually make less money from 4 to 10 million than you did at only 1 or 2 million. And the no man's land trough between 4 million and 6 million is particularly brutal. All right, so this is one that a lot of people don't believe, but it is absolutely true. I see it again and again and again. Here's the deal. You will work harder and you will likely earn less than your peers with good jobs when you make that leap from about 2 or 3 million and you start getting into 4 to 6 million dollars. This is what is known as no man's land. You are too big to be small. You are too small to be big. You've got the team and the technology and all the investment that is required to get to 10 million. You just aren't quite big enough yet. And the worst part about it is everybody around you is going to assume that you're crushing it, right? Your friends, your neighbors, even your team, because you have all the trappings of success. You're gonna have the bigger office, you're gonna have the bigger team. It's gonna be so freaking frustrating. And this is actually where a lot of businesses get stuck. It's where a lot of businesses get trapped. Here's what I can tell you. There's a lot of freedom, a lot of fun, and a lot of value that gets created if you can push through and get to 8 figures But there's also a lot of pain between that mid 7-figure and the $10 million mark. If you can make it through, and you can, and that's kind of what we help businesses do, it's worth it on the other side. But there's a lot of pain in between. Harsh truth number 4, your early team members will quit when you start adding systems and layers of management. Now this one sucks and it's very, very frustrating, but it is just a part of the game. They're going to blame you. They're going to blame you for quote unquote killing the culture, and the reality is they will be right. That startup culture that is so much fun. The sad fact is if you want to scale, it's got to die. So it doesn't make you bad that you did it in the early days, and it doesn't make you wrong for wanting to change it, and it doesn't make them wrong for resenting that you are changing it, but it still sucks, okay? That is just a reality. Now, you will have some team members, certainly team members who've worked at other startups and they've seen the transition, they'll get it, but a lot of your younger team members, where certainly if this was their first job, they're gonna be frustrated, they're gonna be like, oh, you changed, oh, you sold out. Harsh truth. Number 5, you are going to have to regularly fire people for underperformance, and you're going to have to demand that your managers do the same, but you can't fire yourself. You can't fire yourself despite your own underperformance, which is going to make you feel like a fraud. It's going to make you feel like a hypocrite, and you're going to be right, you are, but you still cannot fire yourself. At least not yet. I will tell you, the absolute worst mistake that I ever made in business was when I decided that I was no longer equipped and that I was no longer the person who could run my own business. And so I walked in one day and I decided, that's it, I'm gonna fire myself. I let imposter syndrome win. There will come a day when you can absolutely fire yourself, but I'm going to give you the same advice that Sarah Blakely, who is the founder and still CEO of Spanx, gave to some of our clients on our stage. She said that you're allowed to quit as a founder. The thing is, you have to quit on a good day. If you started this company, it is your company. It's like being a parent. Even if you don't feel like you're doing a particularly great job, suck it up, Buttercup. It is still yours to run. The information is out there. It's all astoundingly figure-outable. Trust me, as somebody who was woefully unqualified to do all of this stuff, but eventually did figure it out, you can figure it out too. So why do it? Is scale worth it? Well, it's really simple. When I ask people, would you like to have more wealth, more freedom, and more impact, or would you like to have less wealth, less freedom, and less impact? The answer is obvious, right? We all want more of all of those things. And the promise of scale is you get just that. You get more of all of those things. Company at scale is also, believe it or not, easier to run. It has systems. It has a professionalized team. So in spite of its size and complexity, it actually affords more freedom to its owners than a smaller owner-operated business. Is scale worth it? I think so. If you can endure the sleepless nights, the team departures, and the constant firefighting, the reward isn't just financial. It's creating something that runs without you, systems that work, a team that delivers, and an impact that can actually outlast you. So yes, scale is worth it, but only if you know exactly what you're signing up for. But is it all, again, rainbows and fairy dust? Nope. By the way, if you're interested in scaling with people who have done it, check out the links in the description to learn more about what we do at The Scalable Company. Because if you have heard these things and you're still around, listen to it, we would love, love, love nothing more than to scale with you.